special. I've watched a few comedy specials on Netflix lately, and my opinion of these comedy specials is they are comedy dramas. A drama it's like a build-up. When you watch a drama movie, it builds up. In my opinion, Netflix has a lot of comedy drama. I consider myself an action movie type comedian. Like when I do comedy, I like to bam, hit 'em, bam, hit 'em, bam, hit 'em. So my comedy is full of a lot of action.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to get around to finishing up the Dave Chappelle special, The Unstoppable on Netflix, but I have to say I was pleased with what I saw. Dave Chappelle is a genius storyteller. He really kind of crafted this narrative and really kind of gave us a real vibe. And Corey Holcomb weighed in on it. You know, Corey Holcomb has said several things that might have rubbed people the wrong way about Dave Chappelle, but I think his take on this special is right on point. But anyway, Corey Holcomb goes in on the Dave Chappelle, The Unstoppable.
What joke? What are we talking
Dave
about?
Chappelle.
What did he say?
The new one. He said something, but he was describing somebody. He was
I watched it.
Okay, you remember that when he said that so-and-so was as black as Wesley Snipes?
I don't remember that
Oh, he
part.
threw that one
Johnson.
in there.
I will say, like, I said what I said about Dave Chappelle. I swear I do not dislike the brother Dave Chappelle. You guys run with stuff. I don't dislike the brother Dave Chappelle. I am proud that the brother is able to do what he does.
Right.
What I was saying was when he would be on the mics around, I felt like he would just stand up there for hours and just practice. Maybe that's how I should have said it. He practices too long with the crowd.
I mean, David has some 8-hour sets.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he could do that because
That's kind of his writing style too. Like he likes to work out with a crowd, a live audience, but it is, if the jokes aren't fully crafted, sometimes it can come off a bit self-indulgent and people might not know what's going on. Is it showtime or is it practice? Like, you know, like, and I guess it's hard if you're as big a comic as Dave Chappelle to not be completely at the level he was on the Netflix special, you know?
But I think people was going with all he hate and all that shit. I don't hate nobody, man. Dave Chappelle, I watched the special and I thought it was a great drama. I really did. I thought it was a great comedic drama. You know what I'm saying? I'm being sincere when I speak. I can't say what you want me to say to any mother. And when I do fuck up and say what somebody want me to say, I be so mad after I think about it. God damn it. I held back my true heart. So, I mean, look, you know, what Dave Chappelle doing is some shit that's like, yo, he got Netflix on lock.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And what he said, I was into it. I watched the whole thing. He dropped some real knowledge.
yeah,
He dropped some real knowledge on a lot of shit.
I got it.
One thing I got to say that's going to make me mad. That man talked about what happened at the Hollywood Bowl. You saw that?
Sure
No, I
did.
ain't
Oh
seen it.
my
I'm gonna watch
God.
it tonight.
Hey, man, let me tell you this. You know what happened at the Hollywood Bowl
When the
when he was on stage.
He got
when
attacked
the
by that
fuck
crazy
attacked the,
yeah.
the Buster attacked the stage.
And people did what?
From what I heard, I don't know. A few rappers stepped
A
in.
lot of people helped.
Right.
I'm going to tell you.
They cleaned him up off that stage. That's what they bent that boy's arm back, yo. I think they broke his arm or something, dislocated it or something. Yeah, he got the brakes beat off him by a group of assorted celebrities that love Dave Chappelle. Like, that's the one person that gets celebrities are gonna jump to his aid, most likely.
What's up, boy? You can't take Backdoria guys for granted. They will whoop ass if you fuck fuck with one of them. One of them.
Oh man.
Hey, what? Hey, man, the Backdorian niggas be working out, dog. I'm saying for real. Especially in Hollywood, man. Some of the most in shape 40, 50-year-olds is on the Backdorian side of the game, and they will beat your ass just because they like splash parties in the back.
Frigos.
That don't mean they won't superstock your ass. Because you heard, who all helped him?
I don't see. I heard.
We're gonna
some
spoiler
names.
alert. We're gonna spoil it for Craig.
I heard. See, I heard.
He don't want to say it. I get
Did
it.
he?
I know.
On the stage, like
Busta
Jamie
Rhymes
Foxx,
did it.
Busta. Wow.
Who else? Who?
Watch this. Phil, who else helped him?
Richard Simmons.
just stop. No.
Did you say Richard Simmons? Get off him. Get off him.
Yeah,
Two,
that
three,
out.
Hated
four.
on him. Good.
Cut that out.
I don't know. I'm saying I don't know who backdoor.
Jamie Foxx helped him?
Yeah.
When Jamie Foxx there? Was Jamie Foxx there, Phil? That's what I heard too.
But also, I loved how Dave turned it into a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like he really worked that.
Everybody knew what was up. They worked it into a joke. That's what I'm
Oh, that
saying.
was
It's
so-
like,
yeah.
don't think that I hate when people run with it like in a way where it's like that. But it's what it is. It's the internet.
A lot of people were shocked by Dave Chappelle and the surprise Netflix drop, and honestly, they're right, but not in the way that you think. You know, he pulled a full Beyonce surprise drop out of nowhere after the Jake Paul fight, which we need to talk about that. Which it kind of actually is ironic that the Jake Paul fight happened the same night and led into the Dave Chappelle thing. When he talks about Jack Johnson and the Great White Hope phenomena, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like he kind of set it up that way, but I don't know when exactly this special was recorded, but it would be funny. It would be funny because he did like a little promo in between that made me think that the special was actually going to be live, like Chris Rock did his special on Netflix, but I don't know. It didn't seem like, it definitely seemed pre-recorded, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like earlier that night, maybe that's it. But, you know, it's just a flex. You know, Beyonce's at a certain level. Dave Chappelle is at that level where he could just do a surprise drop and people will actually watch it. You know, that's a flex. You know, it proves he doesn't mean a machine. The Unstoppable Nigga Act. That's what the full title of this is. Netflix, of course, censored that title, but the Unstoppable Nigga Act is what Dave Chappelle called his special, which is quite interesting and makes sense now with the Jack Johnson part of it, you know. But I think this actually, you know, we've been seeing this process going for a couple years in better ways than others. Because honestly, there were some specials I watched of Dave that I was like, and I watched them all. I gave them a shot, but there was a couple of them that I was like, man, he just put out a special last year. Maybe you don't need to put out a special every year. But this one, he took a little time and he's reached his full philosopher form. You know what I mean? Where he's a like comedy, like Corey said, he's a comedy drama. Where Corey explains himself as being more like comedy action. You know what I mean? Dave Chappelle is going to stretch it out and tell the story as a drama. You know what I'm saying? And it's got a serious undertone to it. I think that's masterful. That, you know, like I said, it's different forms of the art, but it's still beautiful. You know, that's why I can watch a special and not even be the biggest fan of it, but still kind of get something out of it. Their approach in storytelling, you know what I mean? Because what am I doing here? I'm storytelling most of the time. So also in my other career, which that's going to be interesting. Stay tuned for that. My other career as an actor and a writer and producer, director, like that is storytelling in its essence. So I like that part of it. But, you know, we're not just watching a stand-up special anymore when we watch Dave Chappelle. We're watching like a philosopher holding court. You know, he's starting that shift, but you realize something is different as the jokes it's longer between punchlines, and there's punchlines and there's callbacks that hit you at certain points later in the whole show that really kind of like make it worthwhile. It's like it's a skill, you know what I mean? It's writing is what it is. It's good writing. But, you know, because you forget all about that thing and then he brings it up. The Falcon, you know, for any of y'all that haven't seen it already. I'm not going to spoil it here, but he does talk about a falcon, okay? So when you see it, you'll understand. There's a moment where he looks the audience dead in the eyes, and I think this surprised a lot of people when he says, I'm a capitalist. You know, that line probably shook some people to their core who probably still view him as a socialist, although he is a wealthy man, you know, like he's not the underdog anymore. He's part of the elite. And I think in some ways, Dave has always been a part of the elite because he shows us a picture of him at 2 years old, like playing with Muhammad Ali. Like, well, Muhammad Ali's laid back, you know. I know a couple other people with pictures like that. I'm not going to say no names, but you had to be around a certain class or a group of people to have that alone time where your mom and dad know the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, you know, which is also kind of interesting too. We got a boxing theme for that whole night. But, you know, he addresses that as the elephant in the room. Like Dave Chappelle is not like all of us. Dave Chappelle comes from a family of educators in Washington. So that already puts you in an elevated state. And it also gets us to, like I said, Dave, this philosopher, because Dave is very intelligent. Though he tries to play it off, you know, as, you know, chain smoker, you know, which I have a theory about that too. It probably slows him down a little bit when a lot of people are very intelligent. Sometimes I think they do things that actually cause them to focus. I don't know if I've heard him say that, but I definitely know that's a thing that happens. They need something to slow their mind in a way to take the edge off a little bit, you know? But yeah, he was able to do some things that I think a lot of comedians nowadays are not willing to say. He's willing to go out there and say all of the political trigger points that a lot of people they can't say seriously, and a lot of comedians don't want to say it because of, you know, a thought of their career being ruined. But Dave Chappelle goes right to it. If you expected to tune in and just see a bunch of punchlines, which I'm not gonna lie, after watching a boxing match, I kind of did think I was gonna get, you know, silly Dave Chappelle, but instead we got introspective Dave Chappelle, we got musical Dave Chappelle, we got kind of, you know, because his relationship with Stevie Wonder in there, that was kind of an interesting point. Like, he's so cool with Stevie Wonder can make a request of him and he'll go do it. Like, they have that type of kinship, you know. And it doesn't surprise me because he also dedicates this to D'Angelo, because D'Angelo was a friend of his. They all came up in that same era in the late 90s, you know, mid to late 90s. And, you know, it kind of hits you for a second when he does that for D'Angelo, you know. Lost a friend. Rest in peace to the great D'Angelo. But, you know, I'm starting to see that comedians, and I see this in Corey as well, comedians seem to evolve to a place like you saw George Carlin evolve to, like you saw Dick Gregory evolve to, where they become much more political and they want their views to be heard in the vehicle of a joke. And sometimes it gets very serious and it's surprising because, you know, Dick Gregory was downright abrasive sometimes. Like, I remember some of those interviews where he would be wanting to get his stuff out. Now, he talked it like he walked it. He was very much involved in the civil rights movement, and all throughout, he was very, very politically active. But, you know, it's like an elevation, you know. And, you know, even when Dave Chappelle talks about Charlie Burnett working in the park and being a street comedian, like that's art on a different level. You're doing it for something other than the money. And I think that's kind of where a lot of comedians like Corey Holcomb here, Corey is taking a very serious take on some issues. And, you know, people have pushed back against it, but Corey is very clear about certain things that he wants to get out through his material. And then he's going to hit you with a joke real quick. That's why I say Corey's one of the best comedians working, whether you want to admit it or not, you know. And that's the thing. I want to make sure at all times Corey gets his flowers, you know what I'm saying? Because he's doing something that's quite revolutionary, fighting against the mainstream, you know what I mean? So I'm glad to see that Corey now sees eye to eye what Dave Chappelle is bringing to the table. Some people tried to say it was like a TED Talk or a lecture, but when you see that, like I don't know, it takes a certain type of person. I'm a person who can sit down in a theater and enjoy a one-man show. So it's not really foreign for me to see Dave Chappelle go up and do that thing. And I'm not saying at all his stand-up is a one-man show, because it was still funny and controversial and thought-provoking. You know, all of the stuff you want in your entertainment, you know, in sharp edge, cutting edge entertainment. You know, but he's just showing you once again, he's not going to be playing the game to just play the game. You know, he's trying to elevate the sport. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I don't know. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Do you miss the silly joke teller Dave, or do you prefer this more storyteller version, this Cosby version? You know, I've heard allusions to Cosby a lot because, you know, that was what Cosby was known for, man. But anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to support this channel, please sign up for the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Faucette Media. Support the channel, man. I'm trying to bring you the best content. I want to bring you some more edgy stuff, but YouTube sometimes doesn't allow it. I'll get into that one day. But either way, this is Faucette Media.